Elias Anahachi and Superlek are two of the most gifted strikers in one championship, with Superlek being a two-sport, two-division champion, having the flyweight kickboxing strap and the bantamweight Muay Thai strap after smoking Jonathan Haggerty, and Elias Anahachi being a former flyweight kickboxing champion for one, before not being able to make the weight anymore and vacating the belt. And since then, he's had two very good bantamweight kickboxing wins, with a very dominant win over former bantamweight champion Hiroki Akimoto. And it's now a real possibility that Elias Anahachi could challenge Jonathan Haggerty for his kickboxing bantamweight belt. A belt that Jonathan Haggerty hasn't defended for over a year now, with Superlek being at the height of his career it seems, and Elias Anahachi gunning for a second division kickboxing title. It's very much possible that these two could face again one day, but today we're going to be covering and rescoring the fight that they had back in early 2021. But before we do that, we're going to add a little bit of context of how they got to where they were. Before Superlek debuted in one championship, he was already a remarkably decorated fighter, having won multiple world championships in multiple divisions, including 2 Lumpini Stadium belts, and going on a 4-fight win streak in one championship, and having a win over Pampayak, another Muay Thai phenom, and securing a win over Fadi Khaled, and this would place him in the #1 contender spot to face off with Elias Anahachi. On the other side, Elias was also an incredibly decorated fighter, also being a multiple division champion and most notably winning the Infusion 60 kg belt and defending it 3 times. And when he finally made the jump over to one championship, he got an immediate title shot, and that immediate title shot was against Petdam Petyindi Academy, Rodtang's old rival, and Elias would show out in his debut, putting an absolute beating on Petdam and brutally knocking him out.
Instagram. Double roundhouse kick there from Petram. He's on rubber. He goes down. There he is. Anahachi can finish it. Petram's right for the picking. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Elias would go on to defend the title 2 more times before finally facing off against Superlek. And this is where we start scoring. Round 1. Superlek tried throwing some kicks, but he kept losing his footing. But he landed a really nice nutshot on Elias. The fight continues and neither fighter is landing much, as Elias is using his footwork to try to evade Superlek, and Superlek tried landing his kicks but still kept losing his footing. Elias would throw some combinations near the end of the round trying to steal it, and other than that, not much was landed. However, I would give this round to Elias just due to more activity. However, I wouldn't blame anyone if they'd had this round a 10-10. But for me personally, because Elias did just a tiny bit more in my opinion, I'm going to have it 10-9 Elias Anahachi. Round 2. The round starts off with both guys feeling each other out, Elias using his footwork to try to gauge the distance, before letting off some very nice combos.
Distance, and then he starts to let go of that right kick.
Left hook there from Anahachi. There's the right hand from the champion. Flurrying forward now, the looping punches.
However, in the later half of the round, Elias would slow down a bit, and Superlek would start timing his low kicks, landing a few good low kicks near the end of the round as well. The round comes to a close, and I would give this round to Elias Anahachi, due to him having the more effective combinations and a greater volume of strikes, where Superlek really only had those few low kicks, although they were powerful. So second round, 10-9 Elias Anahachi. Round 3. Now where the first 2 rounds were pretty close, and I personally gave him to Elias, round 3 is where things would really switch into Superlek's favor. Elias would come out hot in the first round, really blitzing Superlek with some nice combinations. But right after this blitz, Elias Anahachi just started using his footwork and wasn't really throwing any offense. And seeing that he was just using his footwork, Superlek really started slamming those kicks. And although Elias Anahachi was blocking most of them, Superlek was winning on sheer activity and volume, and on top of that, Superlek was being mindful of Elias's counters to his kicks. And that was the story of the third round, Superlek throwing a kick and Elias blocking or trying to counter ineffectively, allowing Superlek to really run away with this round, making round 3 a clear 10-9 for Superlek. Round 4 was a lot more of the same. Superlek plodding forward, landing those kicks, and being mindful of the counters that Elias was throwing back. And as the round went on, Superlek just got more and more confident as he walked them down and continued to slam those low kicks and those body kicks. And Elias just having no effective answer for them. Another runaway round for Superlek and another 10-9. Round 5. In the first exchange of the round, Elias immediately fouls by catching Superlek's leg and tripping him. Olivier Coste issues a hard warning to Elias and the fight continues. And Elias starts countering with inside leg kicks. However, this doesn't last very long as Superlek is once again able to gain control of the round. Elias would try to vary up his offense, but it's just not enough as Superlek sees it coming a mile away, evades it, and goes right back to applying that forward pressure. The round comes to a close and it's another clear Superlek round, 10-9. So I had this fight in favor of Superlek 48-47. And I know my scorecard is probably more generous to Elias Inahachi than most people's, as even Michael Chiavello on commentary had it 4-1 Superlek. But we all know it would be Elias Inahachi who would end up taking the win in this fight. And I do in fact think that the wrong person won this match and that the general consensus is correct this time. Unlike with the Rodtang Superlek fight, this was in fact a robbery in my opinion. And I would love to see these two run it back as both fighters have now moved up to bantamweight. And with Superlek's previous struggles of fighting at strawweight, I think it would be great to see them both fight again one day at kickboxing. But for now, the fight to make in my opinion is Elias Inahachi versus Jonathan Haggerty for the kickboxing bantamweight world title. And I think the winner of that fight should face off against Superlek. But I personally think Elias Inahachi would make pretty quick work of Jonathan Haggerty in kickboxing, as his only notable kickboxing win is Fabricio Andrade. But that's a conversation for another time. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please share the video, like, comment, subscribe. I love reading your comments. I'm willing to listen to your ideas. If there's anything you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you down there about it. Other than that, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and God bless.